Welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gomer and a podcast engineer here. And we're excited to bring you another episode of Revolutionize Your Marketing with Mill City Marketing and John Petros, who met through a mutual contact several months ago, and got us podcast started. Which is all about marketing and promoting your organization and to get yourselves out there, um, and anything kind of connected with that. And so before we bring John in though, I need to bring in Kurt, who is and also kind of in the marketing realm and a disability ally as well. Uh, to say a little bit, but welcome, Kurt.
Thank you, Emily. So yeah, excited to get into another show of Revolutionize Your Marketing and a very instructive conversation and show. And John is doing wonderful work that we learned about through working together on a nonprofit project. And then for that nonprofit, getting into some live streaming, and then things kept going and going. And I'm all about marketing. I love marketing and in the media space and getting out there and having audiences in this field of edutainment. So we kind of put it together to be educational and entertaining. And so yeah, looking forward with you, Emily, and John here and me to kind of have a good marketing conversation and just really add this value. And the thing I love about marketing is it can be applied to other parts of life, because marketing is about bringing a product or service to the market. And effective marketing is finding that good fit, that good match, and delivering all our products and services to those who really can use it and really give great reviews about their experience. And in marketing, there's an element called the moment of truth. So in business, we say find a need and fill it. So the moment of truth is about when somebody finds themselves in need, are you really there for them? Are they really then having the experience when it's time for you to come to the stage and fill that need? So for a moment of truth here, John, come on in here and give us the truth that you're here to bring forth. Let's revolutionize their marketing. Here we go, John.
Oh, geez. How do I follow that up, Kurt? But yeah, the thing with marketing too is you have to have the mindset for marketing. You have to kind of like have the, you have to figure out the mindset of the clients you're working with, um, how they feel about their own. They have to have a good mindset about what they do too, their own products or their own services. Because without the mindset, um, the feeling isn't going to be there. And you can't have people taking a service if they don't have the feeling that you know your service. That all comes into the mindset. Without the right mindset, it's not the right. They don't get the right feeling. So, and part of the mindset isn't just what's up here; it's what's on the paper or in the ads. If you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to have the right content on the ads. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of it is the mindset. If you don't have the right mindset for yourself either, you're not going to come across to clients or customers. Uh, uh, that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize they may not have the right mindset. I know I follow a lot of people that talk about mindset and everything. Matter of fact, one of the people, my wife is taking a course right now to be a life coach. So I'm picking up a lot about mindset from overhearing her classes that she's taking. And it's brought a lot to light to me too. Uh, it it's not what's up here; it's what's in here, where the mindset starts. It's in the heart. If you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to come across with a good mindset. You're going to feel down about yourself. That's the impression you're going to give about what what you say and who you talk to. And some of it has to deal with the people that you hang around. If you hang around with a bunch of negative people, you're going to have a negative attitude. People will rub off on you, whether you realize it or not. I mean, family, you kind of got to deal with the situations because they're family. But as far as friends, you want to make sure if you want a good mindset, you hang around with people that have a good mindset. Otherwise, they're going to rub off on you. It's kind of a thing that a lot of people know, but they don't know how important it is. Myself, I've been trying to cut out the negative people that I'm around. Sometimes it's not easy to do. Sometimes you have to let go of instances and situations that you love to be around. Like I spent 17 years working for the local newspaper. Of course, what do you do when you're handling newspapers? You read the content. You read the headlines. A lot of people know you rarely find anything positive or good in the paper nowadays. Same thing with watching the news on TV. There's not that much good stuff that comes out on the news. Uh, um, things like that to get into the right mindset that you have to try and get away from. And sometimes it's not that easy. I still struggle. Sometimes I still struggle trying to get away from the negativity. It's something that you always have to keep up on top of. And you're always constantly checking yourself, your whereabouts. It's not always easy to control your mindset, but you have to do the best you can do. You have to be the best you can be. Any comments, Kurt, on that so far?
Well, one thing I'll share is, I got into business, through a Christmas tree farm. So we marketed Christmas trees for Christmas time, and we loaded up trucks and got them out there, and got started in that when I was 9 years old. And my father bought a golf course when I was 12. So, so needless to say, my father was very influential in my mindset, used for business and marketing. And the thing that he really made, the cardinal rule is, our business is about, like you said, the positivity and avoid the negatives. He instilled in us that this is our role with our business is we take any time a negative situation or somebody has a negative experience, or we're even in somebody else's event, or something that is not part of our business and it's negative, that to properly show up for how we do business is we are always responding and setting a mode from where we're standing or sitting, and we make it that we've got a way we see that it can shift over to the positive. The whole idea of turning a negative into a positive. And then that's where we're instilling that value. And then that's where you build loyalty. and you build that interest, that desire to return to the Roscoff family business. And I think that kind of springboards off of what you were saying, that the positivity and what's in the news. And so my father was always big about reading the news, because that helped us understand our customers, our prospects, our clients, anybody we're going to reach, because everybody's consuming the news. So we kind of knew what was on their mind, and conversational pieces. And then we could prepare that if conversations or what customers or prospects would bring up, we'd have a way to take that negativity in the news, and then we could kind of bring it back to our world and our business, and where we got the positive thing going on over here, so that negativity is something that's held separate, from the Roscoff family business. And when they entered into our realm, we shaped that positive experience. And when you have that, kind of threaded into your marketing, I remember like yesterday, my father was recrafting our brochure, and I noticed how he was putting in there, about enjoying a drink, like strolling across the patio, with a nice drink in your hand, with a dollop, and I don't know, he had some wording going on there. So he really was serious about the experience we were giving the public and anybody at our clubhouse, in our banquet hall, in our pro shop. It's like we're doing here. It kind of, to me, looking back, it pretty much was, our business was show business, because we were putting on, the customer experience. We were delivering, that element that a person could respond to and say, I like what the Roscoffs are doing. And that was our responsibility to make that a part of our experience. And then in the marketing, have that available, that was real. That's a real offer when we had a newspaper ad, or we were on the radio or TV, wherever we were out there in marketing, that we could fulfill that promise. We had people driving from Chicago because they wanted that positive experience in 40-minute drive from downtown Milwaukee to go to our business. So they were going north of Milwaukee from Chicago and driving an extra half hour plus to get to our business, because they wanted that positive experience that we were so serious about. So yeah, John, we drove that you're talking about in spades, with positivity and, being aware of the negativity, and, and then really revolutionizing the marketing, because you got to figure out how you can, provide that shift for the reader, the viewer, the listener. As we had our messaging out there, we had our narrative. It had to be real, like authentic, genuine from the heart. It had to be something we believed in. It's the thing that popped us out of bed in the morning. And then when we laid our head on the pillow, we were going to sleep with great resolve, because we helped a lot of people have a ton of fun and be highly satisfied, and, exceeded their expectations.
It's funny that you mentioned about selling Christmas trees and the attitude that you have. Not so many years back, we used to go to, there was a house in the town next door to me here. It was a family that used to sell Christmas trees. And during the winter, that's the money that they raised on the Christmas trees is what pretty much they used to pay for food, because they had a landscaping business and they didn't do any plowing. They just did landscaping during the summer. So the Christmas tree sales and pumpkin sales is what kept them going through the winter. And there was an ice cream stand up the road a little bit that's decided, hey, he's going to start selling Christmas trees during the winter. Because, I mean, not too many people I know go to ice cream stands in the wintertime. And so his business wasn't doing too good because everybody's going to this family because they had the positive attitude. Uh, that was the mindset that they had for their business, just like you were saying, Kurt. And what happened is he didn't like that. He was ending up with too many trees left. So he went to the town and said something about them not having a license to run a business at their house. So they ended up, the town ended up telling them they either had to pay to get a license or they couldn't sell Christmas trees the next year. And they couldn't afford the money for the license, so they stopped selling Christmas trees. So his business picked up a little bit, but we didn't go there because his attitude was not the attitude we were looking for to do business with, especially going behind this other family and getting the town to shut them down. So we found another local farm around here that sells the Christmas trees that they grow. And again, they have the positive attitude. So it not only goes with just marketing or the ads, it also goes with anytime you go to any store or anything. I'm the same way with grocery stores. If the help doesn't have a good attitude, I don't want to go back there. Home Depot is a good one for that. When they first opened up a Home Depot around here, everybody was so friendly, knowledgeable, had experience behind them. Now I go in there, you ask somebody for help, they said, oh yeah, it's over there. Oh yeah, I'll get somebody else. People don't want to deal with responses like that. If they're looking for help, they want help, not say, oh, it's over there. I was in retail for 17 years. And we had so many customers that complained about some of the employees. I could tell you a story, but I don't think I want to get into that one. We had one employee that had a really bad attitude. He got put back into receiving out of customers, out of the customer area. It was something that was said that just should never, ever have been said to a customer. And it's just things like that. It's all part of the mindset. If you have the mindset where you don't care, then that's the impression that people are going to get from you. They're not going to be coming back. That
Right.
holds true in all kinds of business.
Right. And usually or sometimes having a good mindset helps things go better in general too. So
Yeah.
for everybody.
Exactly.
Anyway.
But yeah, if you go on the internet, you can find a lot of people, important, powerful people too, that will teach mindset. There was a good gentleman out there that we followed for quite a long time about mindset. Um, his last name was Proctor. And we listened to him quite a bit uh, about transitioning your mindset. And when he passed away, at a very healthy age, I'll say, because he always looked very healthy. He was in his 80s, I believe it was. His right-hand person, she tried to carry the business on the same way he was doing it. And he had other knowledgeable people underneath him. And they just couldn't keep it going the way he did. People that were following him started falling off because their mindset was the way he was teaching. But I think that internal didn't have the feeling to put behind their mindset. They're still there doing it, but they don't have the following that he had because he had the mindset to teach. He knew what he was talking about, and he just was a superior person.
Yeah.
There's certain ones out there that I still follow to this day. My wife follows them. And like I said, she's taking a course, and the person that's teaching the course, she definitely has the capabilities to explain to people how to look into their inner self and get rid of the things that hold them back or the things that keep their judgment from making the right decisions. And normally it comes from things way in the past, like in your childhood, that would be that you kind of like hold in, and it creates blocks. And what she what she's teaches in the beginning of the year-long class is you got to dig down deep inside, take time and think about how you feel about things. And things from your past is what comes up. Sometimes, a lot of times, or I should say most of the time, it's not good things that come up. But these are things that block you and keep you from getting into the right mindset for what you're doing. And a lot of people don't realize that. But that's what I've been finding out too from listening to some of her classes. And she's got a lot of videos and podcasts out there on YouTube that she has too. And she does a lot of interviews on her podcasts with people that have the background, the knowledge of all of this. And the more I listen to them, the more I get out of it. That might be why I brought this up as a topic today. But the thing is that if people really want to find out what their mindset is and how to change the mindset, there's people out there with the knowledge and the degrees to help get into the right mindset for what you're doing. If anybody wants more information on how to find these people, they can get a hold of me. They can get a hold of me on my email, which is millcitymarketing, MA@gmail.com. I'll be happy to find the information out that they're looking for and get it to them. Because my whole goal is to help people. My marketing is to help the smaller businesses from ending up in a situation like we did it during COVID. Too many small businesses had to close. I'm the same way with people.
This is this is an important topic, or anything, not just marketing. Anything, life in general. Right, Kurt?
Emily, you know it, and we're going to show it right here, Em, because, folks, Emily is somebody that I met that, you know, jumped in to serve a nonprofit and a for-profit, by a mutual, friend and who became colleague. Um, and Emily jumped in to be an executive assistant, dealing with a lot of the online stuff, the note taking and stuff with the calendar and stuff with, the Zoom meetings. And I got in the midst of this because the person who founded those companies, nonprofit company and for-profit company, was somebody that I was working with in this setting to do a show together and to do live streaming and a little bit of radio. And this other person, went on to create TV shows with us and so forth. So really that became a unique experience for Emily right here. Prior to that, experience was school and doing, cares at, assisted living facility and, things like that. So basically COVID time really drove Emily into this marketing arena. And so to hear that come from Emily, how these messages are so important and, to speak to how it crosses over to other parts of life, what a testament to the business community and, just a whole onslaught of marketers that Emily has met in 4 years, and I've talked to Emily before about being a little bit of a sales assistant, so it could be said to be a little bit of a marketing assistant. And Emily's been in a lot of conversations about, when I added up, we talked a little bit about advertising here. And so publicity, promotion, PR, and I talk about the media, the press releases, and customer service is a part of marketing, because that's part of the experience, because marketing is about helping people understand your company and your product and service and your staff and stuff like this. So as people are kind of coming in and they're going through a learning curve and they're getting more familiar, and it's kind of drawing them into, potentially, if you got good customer service, to consume more of what you have, to purchase more if it's a business to business transaction, things like this. So Emily, do you want to speak to that a little bit, in terms of, how you come from a podcast engineer side of things, how you come from a virtual assistant, kind of in clerical things, kind of office work type of mindset and a scheduling mindset. And now you're here talking to us about marketing. Really, what have you experienced in 4 years as you've evolved this fresh new experience, this new frontier for you, marketing? Because I know the Emily I knew, or met 4 years ago was not thinking that, Emily Gulmer is going to do marketing. But now you're talking like you're ready to roll up your sleeves and do marketing. What is that like to be a part of all this business stuff and now to have that be part of what you're doing, marketing?
Not sure. I mean, it's an interesting thing. How do I want to say this? I was kind of totally lost what I was gonna say. But um, yeah, it's been an experience. And it's kind of like an ongoing ongoing thing, like an ongoing learning thing. 'Cause they're always changing and whatever. So it's still kind of new for me. I'm still trying to figure out the whole marketing thing in general. But
Well, for me,
it's important to like learn new things, and so this is kind of a new thing to learn, kind of among everything else that I've learned or been doing the last however many years or whatever too. So
yeah, for me, marketing is a thing that you just grow into. Because even if you are that buyer at a company, or you're just a consumer and you don't quote unquote practice marketing, you know, really everyone participates in marketing. You know,
yeah,
people just more
to an
define.
extent, yeah. Everybody participates to an extent. Some are more in extreme than others, but yeah.
And personally speaking, everyone markets. It's been said
Yeah,
many
yeah, that's what
times.
I was sort of getting at. Yeah.
And when you look at dating life, we market ourselves to, you know, win over a romantic pursuit. You know, job hunting is marketing, right? You got to figure out how you're going to market yourself. Earlier today, we're at an event where somebody was speaking to, you know, as someone with the hiring authority, he was saying that, you know, in his estimation, it's very important that those with hiring authority consider the power they have and consider the role they play, that they need to master the art of matching and goodness of fit, and someone who is going to thrive in the work culture, you know, and fit well and be a great contributor to the mission of the company. That, you know, when you look at that piece of paper and you're looking at analytically and you're looking at with the granular detail on that resume, someone may be sitting there in front of you, you know, with the great skill set to say, we need somebody to do this. You can do that. You may have superior skills. You may have something that just in a generic sense, whoo, you're off the charts, you know. But if your heart is in a different place than what's going on in the company culture and the team, you know, you have to look at being a great member of the team and fitting in well, and that there's going to be this natural drive, because, you know, it could be there's this heart connection, and, you know, with kind of what fills your soul, you're coming into the company, and the company just excites you and revs you up, rather than, you know, the alarm going off and like, oh, I gotta do this thing again, you know. Yeah, and the thing is with jobs, there's always, you know, a drawback, but the idea is when you're a job candidate, to think of it on the other side of that then, and to say, whoa, when you're a job hunter, you got to be able to market yourself for what's inside of you. You got to be able to help that employer see on your resume and see on your communications. And if there's any verbal conversations, how do you, in this, you know, just very finite, you know, interview, or, you know, kind of, you know, casting, you know, it's like a, you know, go for a casting call, and, you know, and you're kind of, you know, being surveyed for, you know, are you feeling it? You know, as a person with the hiring authority, feeling it, that you're the one. And that's a little flair of marketing to figure out how you're going to, you know, kind of have that person at their desk where they're sitting thinking, oh, Emily Gulmer, she's got the sincerity off the charts that we need at our company. We're going to hire Emily because we're not really getting the sincerity that Emily brings to the table. You know, this type of thing. That is stuff that can fall into what companies are doing. And as a job applicant, as a job seeker, most all that stuff, you have no clue. There's no way for you to know. And that's why it's very important that when you're a job seeker, you have to know the company you're applying to. You have to dive in and you have to put yourself in there to know what all of those current employees are dealing with to kind of say, oh, now you can kind of roll with the punches, as that saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans, and there's that whole thing. So these considerations are really marketing considerations. Right,
You
John?
know, yeah. And as a matter of fact, it's funny you should mention about job interviews because part of my job towards the end of my career with the newspaper was I was assistant manager of customer service. And my boss gave me the opportunity occasionally to do interviews for people that were looking for a job. And I heard something today on the computer. I wish I had thought of back then when I was doing interviews. One way to find out the mindset of um, a job seeker is to start off the conversation by asking a simple question. If you had a genie in a bottle, what would your three wishes be? And depending on the answers, would give you an indication of where their mindset is. And I said, and I thought to myself this morning when I heard that, I said, you know what? That's a really good idea. I wish I knew that back then. Because we had some winners come in for interviews. So you could actually sit back and ask yourself that question too, actually, come to think of it. If I had a genie in a bottle, what would my three wishes be? I'd have to actually think about that one. How about you, Kurt? Could you come up with three right off the bat, or would you have to think about it for a little bit?
Well, it's always nice to, go ahead and have wish granted to have, monetary resource to last me abundantly the rest of my life. That always is good. But kind of on the, dream side of things, I often share how, my dream, so to have a genie be able to just presto, this wish granted, there it is. It's a vast waterway that is ideal for aquatics and water skiing and canoeing and kayaking and the stand-up paddle boards, and then to have all the, shore side activities, well, the water skiing for sure. Maybe to have it some spot down the shoreline where maybe it's got a turbulent waterway or kind of like ocean type water because want to be able to do like surfing and so forth. That'd be kind of cool. Otherwise, with the water skiing side, they do the surf skiing thing where the boat creates that wake that you can surf on. But then they have an indoor facility, which is very akin to, the Ability Center prototype that is established here in Milwaukee for a plan to have, um, an adaptive sports complex that is ideal for wheelchair basketball, the adaptive racquetball, the adaptive aquatics, have it all that indoor facility. So I have indoor, outdoor, and then all the surface aspects like be able to play outdoor tennis and to just have all that and then be able to have a lot of extra grounds to keep it going for for like a concert to be able to have on the other end of the property, to have like a concert space and to have like a Shine Music Festival and, and then to be able to have it this place other performing arts and, soup to nuts life, in terms of ability ministries and, to showcase how people with disabilities are volunteering, to show all the disability resources like the independent living centers and the you know the just soup to nuts, everything, like showcasing how travel works. So I always talk about the commercial for Epcot, or the Epcot thing here, experimental prototype community of tomorrow. And then at Disney World, where there's Epcot with the globe, that the commercial is like everybody's familiar with that Disney thing, and then you blow it up, and then you come back in and you say, we're bringing you the experimental prototype community of tomorrow as defined by people with disabilities under the terms of people with disabilities. And, to kind of amalgamate all of these determinations of what the world would look like if it was run by humans with disabilities, which actually that creates a community of 2 billion people on the planet. So 2 billion of the 8 billion. And to have all of that there so that it completely collapses the gap between people with disabilities and people that don't. So to be able to have something like that, and then, some of this, so it's just a third consideration would be, something like that, if I had unlimited monetary resources, I could just use the first wish to pay for something like that. So you have to think of, another wish would be like what money can't buy, that for what the genie would grant. And I'd have to think about that. Like maybe it'd be, you know, maybe I'd have to think about if I could have a whole new look. What would my look be? Like it'd be hard to hire a plastic surgeon maybe to pull off some of the stuff that I would do. I don't know. I'd have to get creative how I'd use that last wish. I'd want to be really careful that I'm really considering it wisely and not wasting a wish. So
Yeah, that holding off on that last wish and making sure it reminds me of the movie Aladdin.
yeah,
Set
it must be like to have it would almost be like a superpower. Like I'd challenge the genie. I wish I could grant wishes like you. But then it would be that whole laughter thing, like, oh, if you really want to be a genie, then you're gonna be caught in a bottle. So yeah, you really got to think it through.
Yeah. Well, all right. Getting back to the marketing part of stuff. Um, People in marketing, they want to be a champion. So champion is my word for the day. The C is for courage. I actually got this one good from a song, which you probably heard. Um, the C is for courage. Courage, you have to be invincible and have the courage to keep doing it, no matter what anybody says. H is for honor. You have to have an unbreakable honor to yourself and to your clients. A is for attitude. Yeah, again, part of mindset. You have to have the attitude where you're unstoppable. Nobody's going to be able to stop you, to keep on going. M is for the motivation. You have to have a motivation where you're unshakable. Nobody can change the speed that you're going at. P is for persevere. If you get knocked down, get back up and keep on going. I is for integrity. Integrity is make sure that you know who you are, so people know who you are. O is for optimistic. You're gonna have pain, but you can't let the pain hurt. You have to keep on going. N is for never giving up. You have to, if it's what you're meant to do, you have to, that you were born to win. You want to make sure that you keep going with that attitude. So that's the word for the day, champion.
Sounds good. I like that word. You're on mute, John.
It should have put me on mute automatically. I didn't like that. I'm going to put you both to a test now. Does it sound familiar to a song?
Like the Queen song, like "We Are the Champions," or is it a different song?
It's a female singer who brought in a male singer to sing that part. Actually was rapping that part. Give you a little hint.
Um,
I see that smoke coming from Emily. She's thinking.
I'm thinking. I don't know. It's not coming to me at the moment.
The gentleman that was brought in to sing to rap that part was ludicrous.
Oh,
Kurt knows now who the female is, right, Kurt?
I actually don't. I was just thinking it might be like Queen Latifah or something. I really don't know.
Wow, I stumped both of you with that one.
Yeah.
I just had her name and I just lost it. I had her name and I lost it. I hear the song all the time too. That's where I got that from, and it just caught my attention. So I had to play the song, pause it, write part of it down, listen to it, pause it, write part of it down to get it all, and I printed it all out in a nice little fashion. I keep it taped up on the wall as I come into my office. But I thought that would be fitting for that topic tonight too. Mindset. It all falls into your mindset. So, anything else you want to throw in, Kurt or Emily? I'm running out of things to say here. Since I don't have the actual knowledge to teach about mindset, I can only speak about what I feel and what I know about it.
I'm not sure. Kurt, do you have anything?
Well, I mean, our mindset is facilitated through our brain. So, I mean, if we really want to grow our mindset, all this stuff to jam into our brain is good stuff. And that's really what's going to drive your mindset. But if you really want to maximize your capacity for what you're doing with your mindset, it's brain health, so and then I've been a heart patient, so through that there's been a lot of adages about heart health, brain health, and there's the tie together. So part of the mindset is like what we experience with daily show every weekday morning. Emily and I are hopping on what's called the daily huddle, and they have some tenets that they have as part of their theme about eating healthy and checking yourself, and on and on like that, but that's part of the food for thought is the thought of food. And I just thought of tying it together that way. But so we have to watch what we eat, like people talk about brain food, but a lot of times they're talking about junk food, or something like that, but you know like eating bananas, it's supposed to be good for keeping you fuel, giving your brain what your brain needs, through bananas. And people are, marketing products, that go towards your brain health. But again, the brain facilitates, what you're putting into your mindset. So, a lot of times, like when I talk about lifestyle development, I'm talking about our faith life, our service life, lifelong learning, our, civic role that we take on, what our mindset is in our job or our business, our occupation, our enterprise, and then our mindset for fun, and then that gets us to a lot of people have this mindset, work hard, play hard, type of deal. And, so yeah, it's very important that a lot of times getting into mindset things can be inspirational, motivational, and, when it really hits you, it becomes aspirational. It really drives your aspirations and, might get you to the, dream building, taking that dream time. Emily and I are on a lot of personal and professional development activities, where just learning from people all around the world, how they deal with this space about being the very best human being that you want to be. And it's been something I've heard for decades about, the practice of helping others be the best version of themselves. Then for sure, working on being the best version of yourself. And that's where this mindset thing comes in, and then how you implement it. I think of it like technology. See, mindset is like a technology, and technology is applied use of tools. So your mindset can be a tool you use to drive your accomplishments and the outcomes that you'd be more satisfied with, or that you would be ready to celebrate more. And so it's all how you apply it, because you can sit there with all the mindset in the world you want, but if you don't put some elbow grease to it, if you don't do that hard work then and walk the walk, because you can have an excellent mindset and talk the talk and be on a show like this and just really be on the pulpit and just really blast it and really show your understanding and your knowledge, and you're in it like anybody else could. But then when it comes down to looking at your track record, and then so in terms of words and acronyms, back in high school, I leaned on the word nice. And with the National Honor Society, I delivered my own creation of talking about leadership by appealing to people who are listening to me to consider being a nice leader. Now, that in itself is enough of a message, but then I took the acronym of NICE, NICE, and I went noteworthy, innovative, cooperative, and exciting. And to me, what I was doing with that acronym was really driving what you're actually doing. When you lay your head on the pillow and you think about what you did, what did you do that defines you as noteworthy? What did you do that was innovative, that it invoked and provoked and conducted change? And cooperative, how well did you work with others that were, however much they were willing to share these activities and this time with you? How did you come into that with appreciation? And how did you leave yourself that you could define yourself as cooperative with how you behaved in the day? And then exciting, because I believe what's fun gets done. And if you go through and, you're an Eeyore, and it's kind of like, yeah, I know I gotta write those notes, or I know we gotta do this post-production on this episode of Revolutionize Your Marketing. you know. You know, I mean, there's all that. So mindset to me is a tool to get all of that cranking in the very best way that you want it to be. So when you lay your head on the pillow, you're like, wow, I really rocked it. And I always say, if you sleep good, it's because you got a clear mind, clear conscience,
Yeah,
because you just did everything the way you should that day. That's why you sleep good. Now, it's not to pick on people who have sleeping disorders, because that's a real thing too, you know.
yeah.
Insomnia, what a beast.
So, in ending, my advice to people is every day, take a few moments and just think about what's on your mind. Get the negative thoughts out or change them over to positive thoughts and see how much better you feel the next day when you wake up.
Yeah, you got me thinking of a lot of people over the decades have picked on the company Amway for what people did with Amway, but I really got to give a big shout out to Amway and the leadership, because I was at an Amway event and the gentleman on the stage had all these champagne glasses and a magnificent sculpture, like a champagne glass sculpture type of thing. And then he had a pitcher of water up there, and then he had Coca-Cola. And so the idea is he put this Coca-Cola in this champagne, pyramid thing, and then he's like, so this is kind of illustrating what you're talking about, John, about purging the negativity. He's like, he took that picture of positivity and he started to trickle it in there, and he was driving home a point that if what stands between you and your success is like this darkness that's symbolized by Coca-Cola, you've got to be ready to pour that positivity. And he's like, trickle trickle, look at that, you got some positivity in there, but still looks kind of dark, doesn't it? Whoop, you got to keep trickling, trickling, And he kept going. And by the time he had the pitcher of water gone, the champagne glasses, for the most part, looked like that was pretty much water by the time he was done.
Funny you
He,
mentioned Amway because we did Amway too, way back. It was a good company.
Yeah, and that's the thing about marketing is, when you're out there in the marketplace, your marketing is key, because people are doing with your company, your product and service what they're going to do, and that's the chance for your marketing to come in and help it be that more positive experience for everybody, to have that more positive take. But that's where customer service and the personal interaction is so key, because people had concerns out there in the field, because some people took, having that mindset, they had all the right mindset, but they applied it so squarely, in an aggravated fashion for people out there, at their homes. So all of a sudden, it's like a taboo thing, oh, get that out of here. You know, get it
It's
out of
funny going back in years too. I mean, my wife was doing this marketing where it was for um, phone phone answering systems. This was back when they were just coming out with the automated programs. And my wife says, "No, nobody's going to want to do that. When people call someplace, they want to talk to a person. Where are we today? You're lucky you get a person when you call." So we ended up not doing it. And yeah, sometimes we kick our butts for not doing it. But yeah, so I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you, Kurt, and thank you, Emily, for your comments. Hope people listening to this enjoyed it. And think about your mindset. Keep a positive mindset. Any last comments, Kurt?
Trying to think what you just said. You sparked something, but we're wrapping up, so I was keeping it to myself, and now oh, because you were talking about regret, potential regret or possibility of looking at it and regret what you didn't do. And so part of marketing concept is with an acronym FOMO. You know what FOMO is, right? FOMO. Emily, you know what that is. Well, all right, Emily's going to teach you marketing. This is beautiful. Emily, what is FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. That's a marketing concept. So that's what happened to you, John. You realize you missed out and drove your fear like, oh no, I missed out.
I did hear that before too. It was a while ago that I heard that.
So there you go. How's that for a final thought? Tune in next week because you don't want FOMO, fear of missing out on what we're going to talk about next Friday.
All right, take us away, Emily.
Yeah, I thank everybody for tuning in today. And we're here every Friday at 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern. And I'd love to have you as a guest on the show or any of our shows. Please connect with us if you are interested. And also to check out the other organizations that we're working with, partners like Marcus Art of Transforming Media, just running the Disability Channel, Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios, Zach Clayton of the Peck Channel, or Williams of Midwest Plainsman Podcast, and all of the great work that they're doing. And I guess until next time.